Hey guys, welcome back to another masterclass. I want to start by saying a massive thank you for showing so much love to the other masterclass videos I have shared so far. And if you haven't watched them, then please do go check it out. I will leave the links in the comments below. But I am going with the weather. So the sun has finally come out after a week of non-stop rain. And I think this is the kind of weather you want, something comforting. And also the festive season is coming up. So this is a great snack if you want to serve it as a party food or, just share it with friends over some drinks. So I am doing the best way to make onion pakoras or onion bhajis or crispy onion fritters, whatever you want to call them. So let's get cooking. And before I start, can I please request you to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and hit the bell button so you don't miss any recipes. Right, so first things first, the onions. It's the onion pakora. So you could use red onions, you could use white onions. It kind of doesn't matter so much. I prefer using white onions for this is because I find sometimes the red onions a bit too stringy, and that's the only reason, but which is why I like this, and they are a bit sharper, which is quite nice for the pakoras. And another plus point of onion pakoras is that they are gluten free, so there will be more people who might be able to eat this snack and enjoy it. I've decided that I'm going to use the white onions. So the next thing to do is chop them up and get them ready for the pakoras. I have shared pakora recipes in the past on my channel, and these masterclasses are a bit slightly long and a lot of talking and explaining because I want to share the tips and tricks to get these recipes perfect. So I have shared them, but I thought I'll do a masterclass because I'm just going to concentrate on the onion pakoras because they are one of the simplest snacks to make. So if in India growing up, and if somebody just turned up at your door, a relative or a friend, and you were serving them a cup of tea, 99% of the times my mom would make onion pakoras because it's something you don't need any prep for. You always have onions and gram flour in the house. So yeah, it's a very, very quick thing to prepare for your guests. And I'm going to chop these onions. I'm going to slice them thinly, and I'm not going to chop them up, but slice them into thin pieces. And while the onions are, I'm going to still chop the onions, I haven't started yet, but while I do that, I'm also going to put some sunflower oil to deep fry. So I usually use a kadhai, which is what is used in India for deep frying. But if you don't have it, or if you want to use something else, you could use a frying pan, but it doesn't kind of deep fry, it kind of shallow fries, which is also fine. But if you want that crispiness, then you really do need kind of deep frying. You could use a deep fat fryer or a pan like this as well. Whatever you have at home, really, make it work for you. And I'm going to fill this up with some rapeseed oil or sunflower oil. You could use either, is absolutely fine for deep frying. And I just fill it 3/4. Let me show it to you. So I've got it 3/4 full. I've left a little bit so that it doesn't splash out a lot. And now I'm going to chop up the onions. Once I've peeled the onions, I'm using 3 onions for a family of 4, and I'm just going to chop them up into thin slices. I'm just showing you the basic onion pakoras, how to make them, which is why I'm thinly slicing these. So you get nice thin long pieces, and then you separate them. Make sure you separate them when you're going to add it in the batter. And to this I am going to add a couple of garlic cloves and a small piece of ginger. And I promise just this little bit, I know it's not very little, but just this bit is going to add so much flavor, absolutely tons of flavor to your pakoras. Just grate it in. And a few of you have inquired about this grater. I have actually had this for over 15 years, so it's a really old one. I have no idea where I bought it from and how much, but it's very, very old, so sorry I can't help you there. So I'm going to transfer all of this into a bowl. Just going to try and separate the onions as much as I can, then the ginger and garlic. And here I have got a little bit of fresh coriander. I'm going to try and chop it as fine as possible because I don't want big leaves in the actual batter. I am adding ginger and garlic and coriander. And I'm trying to give you the best onion pakoras that I make, that I enjoy, and I want you to have the same. But if you want to skip ginger, garlic and coriander, they'll still be delicious pakoras. But if you want the real deal, the best, then you add in everything. Also going to add 1 green chili. Chili heat is completely to your taste because it depends on how hot and spicy you want it. I like to add 1 chili because it's not too much, and whoever gets a little piece of chili gets a little bite and a kick of that heat. So you could add more than 1 chili. I'm just going to stick with 1. There it goes in, and now it's time for some spices. For this much quantity, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of ground cumin, and half a teaspoon of chaat masala. And this is such a lively spice mix. I'm just going to mix it all up before I add the flour. We have got the mixture ready till here. Now it comes to the flour. So we use gram flour for any kind of pakoras, mostly gram flour. The quantity, now I would love to give you an exact weight of the gram flour, which I will give you. But I would say that the whole idea of doing this masterclass is so I can give you tips to get it right. Don't think about how much grams and how much weight of flour I'm telling you. Just add little at a time and see when the onions are fully coated, that's when you stop. But for people who are new to cooking and are not very confident, I will give you an exact weight as well. So the key is, I have put this on weighing scale, that you add a bit of flour first. So I'm going to go for 50 grams first. There's 50 grams, actually it's 60 grams. And then you mix it up. Then you see that the onions are properly coated. And what you start doing is, you start mashing it up. And that will release the moisture from the onions into the flour. I'm going to add another 10 grams. Okay. Make it 20. So there's the exact 80 grams of flour to this. So I'm going to take it off the weighing scale, and what I'm going to do is mash it up well. See, you can still tell that this is an onion pakora, and that is how it should be. You shouldn't actually see the flour more than the onions. That is the key to good onion pakoras. So once you've mashed it, there's a little bit of moisture. The flour has started to stick to the onions. I'm going to add tiniest bit of water. This is where you have to be really careful and don't get carried away. So I'm going to take 1 tablespoon first and see if that has worked. And you might think, oh my god, there's not enough flour and this is not the pakoras. Trust me, you really want to give this a go. I've added 1 more tablespoon, and actually that has been enough, because you can see there is no flour left at the bottom of the bowl. That means all the flour is now stuck to the onions. See, no flour at all, and that is just right. So just a couple of tablespoons of water, and now we fry. How do you check that the oil is ready? You just put a little piece of the onion and see if it sizzles. Oh yes! So I'm going to turn this to medium. I don't want it super high. And all I'm going to do is, let me show you. So just going to take a small portion. Right, let me wash my hands first. They're too sticky. Okay, my hands are clean now. It's just too sticky. I couldn't really show you what I'm doing. So right, take a portion and kind of, it's so sticky, you don't have to really do much. You just drop it in. Just be very careful. You can of course use a deep fat fryer for this. So I'm just gonna fill the kadhai before I let it cook until golden and crispy. And once they start to get a bit golden, as you can see, you just turn them over and let it cook on the other side as well. One more tip. If you cook this on very high heat, they will go completely golden on the outside, and then the gram flour will still remain raw, and you can taste it. If you cook it on really low heat, then it is going to take forever to cook first of all, but at the same time it's going to absorb up a lot of extra oil, so they'll be quite oily. So you need to make sure that your temperature of the oil is medium, something between 160 170, and that is quite useful to get that crispness. Oh, just in time as the sun is setting and it's time for my cup of tea, these will be ready. And if you have made pakoras before, there are tons of recipes out in the world of recipes, and nobody's recipe is right or wrong. If they've been making it like that in their family, that's how it is. This is just how I cook them and how I found that I get the perfect crispness, perfect flavor every single time. Right, these are looking stunning. Whoa! So get them out on some kitchen roll to absorb excess oil, which is quite handy, and I am going to continue to fry the rest of this mixture. These are all getting beautifully done. Now, another tip, if you are making this for a party, say example, I make these onion pakoras for get-togethers and parties a lot. And what I do is, I won't make it the day before, not really, you could do it, but no. So if I'll make it in the morning for the evening party, and I will fry them and transfer them on a baking tin, and just leave them there, cover them up, and just half an hour or when people arrive, I'm going to put that in that whole tray in a hot oven at around 180°C for just 15 minutes or so, and that will just reheat the onions, pakoras perfect and ready to be served. Obviously fresh is the best, but that is a great way to have like a little canapé or a bite to eat at a party. Right, that is another round done, and before I move on, I could actually serve this lot up. What's left to do is pile them up on a plate, and now we finish this with a sprinkling of chaat masala. When I started filming this video, the sun was still out, and it's only taken me 10 minutes to prepare this, but yeah, it's already saying bye. Right, this is it guys, a masterclass in perfect onion pakoras. I just call them pakoras because that's what I've called them growing up. But yeah, I really hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and share it. I just want to spread the love and knowledge of simple Indian food. Time. So what would you serve this with? I would serve it with my favorite coriander and mint chutney. You can find the recipe on the channel. I've shared it so many times. Or my kids love it with some ketchup. And I don't stop them because why not? I really don't need to say anything. It is packed with flavor, and I really hope that this is the best onion bhajis you've ever made. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you back with another recipe soon. If there's anything you want to see a masterclass in, let me know in the comments. Please try these. Oh God. Somebody take this plate from me. I'll finish them all.